How's it going, everybody? Today we are jumping back in Scum and we are going to take a look at quite a few different changes that will be brought to the video game. Now, there was a small update earlier today that brought the regular holiday content that we get every year, and we now have a test branch as well where we can jump in and mess about with some features that will be added to the game later on. We can all jump on there. All we have to do is right click on the game in our Steam library. We have to go to properties, and then on the left here we select betas, and there we can join the test branch. It's called PTE release branch. It's short for player test environment. There are a couple of different actual servers that we can join, and we can play single player as well and check out these new features. And speaking of these new features, they are subjected to change, depending on how us, the community, will react to them on this test server. They can, change by the time they will be released on the main branch. Having that said, we are going to start the day by taking a look at a big change that will come to the traders that we can of course find at all the outposts. So the trader's inventory will be mostly empty until us, the players, will sell something to a trader. We'll take for example the general goods trader. As we can see here, everything is out of stock. He does not have any items for sale. He cannot sell us a single item until a player comes along and sells something to the trader. Let's say for example I come along and sell an axe at the general goods trader. As soon as I do that, the axe will become available for somebody else to buy, but as soon as somebody buys the axe, it will once again be out of stock. So the traders will mostly sell the items that we give them, and I say mostly because some items will be available no matter what. So I jumped in single player. I was the only player there. There were no other players to sell goods to the traders. And the armorer, for example, had weapons in stock, a limited amount, just like 1 or 2 weapons, but they were there without a player selling those weapons to the armorer. So most items will be out of stock, but then certain items, will be available no matter what. Now, moving on to vehicles, as we all know, when we find a vehicle, it is going to be missing lots of different parts, from the engine to the wheels to the seats. Anything can miss from the vehicles, and we of course have to find or buy the parts that we need to repair, a certain vehicle. And since buying the parts will be a lot harder with these new trader changes, the developers made some changes to where we can find certain vehicle parts. Now, of course, the junkyard in sector B0 will still be our best bet for finding all the parts that we need to fix up a vehicle, but they have made some changes to where parts can spawn on the rest of the map depending on which vehicle we are trying to repair. So if we are looking to repair the pickup truck, our best bet at finding the parts that we need to repair it will be at the largest points of interest on the map, like Samobor or Novigrad. If we want to repair the Laika or the Volkswagen, we will find their parts in any garages across the map. If we are trying to fix up a tractor, we have to look for parts in barns. If we're trying to fix up a dirt bike, again, barns. And of course, the motorcycle track all the way down south, we can find parts for them there. The cruiser, we will find parts for it at gas stations and airfields. And the quad, if we are trying to fix that up, we can find parts for it at construction sites and at the track down south. So we will now know exactly where to look depending on what vehicle we are trying to fix. The spawn of the vehicle parts won't be random anymore. And check this out, they have also increased the number of vehicles that spawn in a drivable state. So they will still miss, some parts, but they are going to be drivable. Now, moving on to loot, there is quite a bit to talk about here, but we are going to start with my personal favorite change, and it is this one right here. There is now a 100% chance of getting something from all locked containers. The ones that we can either force open with a crowbar or open up with a screwdriver and lockpicks. In the past, there was a chance that after we opened them, they were going to be empty, so we basically wasted a screwdriver or more on an empty container, but that's no longer the case. They will have something in them now no matter what. Some of them are kind of still empty, if I'm gonna be honest, on the test branch, but by the time this will be implemented on the main branch, all of them will have some loot for sure. And sticking with loot for a bit, some really big changes are being implemented to the loot tables. Of course, this is speaking from an official server standpoint, server owners have their own set of rules, but general loot such as clothes and food, the spawn of those items has been increased, so loot crates should not say no items found anymore, at least not as much as before, and they have also rebalanced the way some items will spawn and where they will spawn. For example, clothes. On the coast, which is marked with red here, we will find more summer clothes like shorts and t-shirts. Then we have the green zone, which is the middle of the map with moderate climate, so there we should find, hoodies, long pants, shirts with sleeves. And then of course in the blue area where it's cold, we should find winter clothes. So basically, as far as I understand, clothes should spawn depending on the biome that we are in, according to the environment and according to the temperature. And as far as I understand, same goes for weapons and armor. They have been divided between different points of interest and they have been split into 6 different categories. We have about 6 categories marked with 6 different colors on the map here, and basically the higher the risk, the higher the reward. For example, blue marks the police stations in towns, and there we will find police loot like pistols, shotguns, maybe MP5s. But then if we go to the red zones, which are big military areas like the D4 airfield, there we are going to find higher tier loot like SVDs, RPKs, AKs. So the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So I think that with this change, there's a big incentive for players to travel, around the map to certain areas, because we won't find the same type of loot in many different locations. Now there are a couple of other things coming to the video game, but I don't think that they are available on the test server, at least I haven't seen them yet. For example, zombies will start limping if we get them in the kneecaps with an arrow or something like that, and I've tried it on the test server, but it doesn't work. They just keep on coming at us at full speed. So not all the things that the developers teased are on the test branch, and they have teased quite a few things. We can expect to see a new weapon added to the video game, and that is the Tommy gun, a new knife as well with a compass on it. And then we have the sidecar bike, and the NPCs will be improved as well. They will receive, a couple of new animations. So yeah, I think that the final update for this year will be a major one. And I, for one, really like that we can test things out before they get pushed on the main game branch. Because if they feel off, we can just tell the devs what feels wrong and they can adjust the new features before they push them onto the video game. Do please let me know down below what you guys think about all of these upcoming changes and additions. Do you like them? Do you not? Let me know down below in the comments. But that's about it from me today. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. I hope you have enjoyed. In case you did, be sure to drop some stuff and things down below. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.